Hello and welcome back to the channel, J.I. Colorist. My name is Jody and I am super pumped for today's video because today's video is my completed pages for December. However, it's not really just for December for me. It's from August 28th to December for the festive coloring book. So I have a bunch to show you. I will do that book at the very end in case you've want to duck out or stop and start and pick up midway. Grab yourself a cup of tea or a warm drink, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, grab yourself a cool lemonade and let's get started. As per usual, it is more fun to color outside the lines. I just love this saying, and it's my coaster that's on my desk, so I love to share that with you. All right, let's zoom out. Do a couple of stats. This is the last time you're going to see this my 2024 coloring planner. This is the spread that we had going for December. Now I completed 18 pages in the month of December. I did 2 crafts, so I'm going to actually start the video with my 2 crafts. I did a total of 13 videos. It's been a very busy month and I've enjoyed all my time that I have spent with you. I did 5 hashtags, and I'd like to welcome 24 new fellow colorists to the channel. So hello, welcome. I don't often ask for people to subscribe. I kind of find it annoying personally to hear people always asking to subscribe, but obviously it does work, because when I don't ask people to subscribe, then my subscriber count dwindles quite a bit. When I do ask people to subscribe, then they seem to take action and do that. So for some reason, if you enjoy what is happening on the channel and you feel like subscribing, by all means, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We have lots in store for 2025. And I'd love to have you join our coloring community. Regardless, I'm just happy that you're here watching this video. So let's get on to it. I did not do any buddy colors in the month of November or December, and that was because of the Festive Coloring Whip series. So without further ado, let's take a quick look at the 2 crafts that I did. And I'm going to turn the light off so that you're not getting that ring light. This is a Diamond Art Club 2025 Seasons of Sparkle, and it is a calendar. And each month you're going to hopefully see a completed page. So this is the January page, and this is a snowman. And I am doing this calendar with my sister, Cindy, and we are working on this as a project together. Now you'll notice I've got a little bit of extra bling on the, and I might turn the lights on now so you can see it, but I've got a little bit of extra bling on his carrot nose and this, so I'm following along with the program. However, I do have a few extra sparkly diamonds from other projects that I am sprinkling into these ones. So this is the first craft I completed with my sister. I'm already working on the next one. And then I also did a picture from the sticker book Extremely Cute Animals, and this is just a book that I use sometimes when I want to do something creative, but I don't actually want to start a whole page if I'm coloring. Sometimes it takes me quite a while to get a page done. So this is the little deer, or the fawn. It's a baby deer, and I completed it this month. So now I've gotten a few pages done in this book. Kathy from Spicy Cat Colors actually introduced me to these type of books. I'd never seen them before, so having fun. It's just kind of a mindless thing. I don't do color by numbers, so this is probably the closest thing I do to that. And yeah, so stickers from Extremely Cute Animals. After the 2 crafts, I'm going to share with you on screen a couple of pages of gift tags that I did. One is from Clara Markova, and another one or 2 are from Coloring Bliss from Jennifer Stay, and those are gift tags that I colored and then attach to gifts. So on screen you will see 3 pages worth of those. So it's just fun getting gift tags, and I then cut them out and I put little strings on them and attach them to my Christmas gifts that I gave away this year. So I don't have them in person anymore, which is why I took pictures of them beforehand. All right, the next book that we're actually going to start with is this Grand Classique. It is the mini block by Art Therapy, Hatchet Heroes, and I did this page, which is Pooh and Friends, and I did this for Spicy Cat Disney. Her prompt this month was Pooh and Friends. I used Copic Chow markers, some Studio 71 markers, some Mod Podge Extreme glitter on the background, some Silver Pop gel pens, and some Spectrum Noir brush pens. The Spectrum Noir is on these darker pine trees, and the extreme glitter is on all of the snowy parts, so hopefully you can see some of that. And I really like how I did his face, so I'll just zoom you in and you can see that I like how I got the snowman's face. I did a bunch of soft colors. All of these soft colors are Copic markers. This whole thing was done with Copics, and I got some soft colors on him and on the snow as well, and then I put the Mod Podge Extreme glitter on top. So yeah, I don't work very often in this book, but I do try and catch up with Spicy Cat Disney when I can. So thank you for hosting that fun hashtag. All right. The next book was used. It is Gems Volume 2 by Cynthia Clowder, and it was used as part of my Gems series. And I did this book, and this is for my Gem series, which was turquoise. So I color the birthstones of the month, and this is turquoise. And for this one, there is a complete color along video or demonstration on how I did it. I used Polychromos pencils, Dollar Tree metallic markers around the edges and the green bits, and some Jelly Roll. And there's a little bit of silver marker in there and some gold. And so this, I envisioned this as a large brooch with the turquoise, both the green and the blue turquoise. So if you'd like to see how this all came together, there is a playlist for my entire gem series, and we are done the series except for the topaz, and I am going to include a few alternate gems from birthstones later on in the year, so that playlist will continue to grow a little bit. And that was Gems Volume 2 by Cynthia Clowder. Sticking with small books, but I'm gonna raise the camera just a smidgen. All right, so our next book is A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. This is one of the books that I am trying to finish. I am pretty close. I am so close that I am 5 pages away. So this will be completed in 2025. I'm not going to obviously have it done this year, but that's okay. And the page that I did is this page here. And I tried to make it into a Christmas page so that it was still kind of a festive page. So I have show you how it looks. I've added washi tape for these two guys, and I've made them into Christmas sweaters. I added some Christmas lights around his little window. I've made these into Christmas presents and Christmas cards. And then I tried to use some Christmas colors. I've got ho 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 written on this guy's little satchel that's on his back. And I think it turned out pretty well. I was happy with how the page went. I'm calling it Christmas in the Jungle. I used 4 Candies pencils, glaze pens, Pitt pens, Staedtler pigment pens, some washi tape like I mentioned, and a little bit of gel pen here and there. I kind of made these into poinsettia flowers, so they're green and red. So yeah, I think it worked. I was happy with how it turned out. I think originally it was probably more of a Valentine's page, but I think giving gifts, you can make it into any kind of season you want. So Christmas in the Jungle it is. And I really think it turned out, I'm really pleased with how this book is coming together. When I've gone and looked through it, I'm pretty excited to show you the completed book once those last 5 pages are done. And I have going to post on my community tab the last 5 pages. And if anybody wants to help me finish the book and buddy color with me, that would be fantastic. So go to my community tab here in the next day or so, and you will see the pictures, and just respond underneath each picture if you would like to buddy color with you, and we'll get in touch. All right, A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. The next 2 books are I Love Elves and I Love Christmas. I was determined to get these books out this year and actually get something colored in them. So let's start off with I Love Elves. And this, I believe, was my very first page from this book. And in fact, I know it is. So this goes to Color Your Hoard December, or December Color Your Hoard, hosted by T and Lavelia. And I think he's just, it kind of reminds me of a, like it's a picture on the wall. And so like this is the family, the Santa family. And I just thought it was super cute. I used extreme glitter Mod Podge on all of the white fluffiness on their attire. I used glaze for their eyes, or the glasses I should say. I used washi tape around here, and I used some alcohol markers, which I don't often use, so I used some alcohol markers, did a little bit of shading, and I did some lines with a gel pen on the trees. So it's kind of like cute and cozy, or easy and bold coloring, and I thought that this worked well. Really happy with all the different colors that I chose, and it was just a fun page to get done. And I do like the purple frame around it. I just think it's kind of fun. So yeah, that is my first page from I Love Elves, and I got this from Book Outlet a year ago. All right. Also from Book Outlet was I Love Christmas, and I did end up doing a page last year, so this is not the first page of this book, but here is the page that I chose to do this year. And it's a wallpaper page that I would not normally do, so I just wanted to have some fun. I just picked up some metallic tempera paint pens, or they're just paint sticks actually, and so I used those. So this is metallic, the main blue here is not metallic, it was a neon color, but this metallic is blue, and this is a metallic gold, and this is a metallic green. So there's a lot of shimmer and shine on it, which I was really quite pleased with. I just picked these up at Michael's using a 40% off coupon, and they also have a pastel set, but it was out. So I'm going to go back when they have it back in. I also used a little bit of gel pen and some dual hybrid and some Sparkle Pop gel pen, but for the most part it's just those paint pens or those paint sticks, and it was actually really fun. So, and I have a plastic here just to protect the sheet, but this does not seem to be moving at all, so I don't think I actually need the sheet there, but I'll just leave it there for now. But see how shiny that is? Yeah, so tempera paint sticks, who knew? Lots of fun. And that was my one page from I Love Christmas. Another book that I am trying to complete is Sea of Colors. I've got 10 pages left after this page, and again I used the tempera paint sticks here, and so you'll see lots of shine. And then I also used a little bit of markers and then some metallic gel pen on top, but most of this again is the paint sticks. Like that blue is just lovely, and so is the green and the gold, and then the silver. So yeah, I'm going to be using them more often and just having so much fun. And I didn't have to spray this, and this paper is horrible paper, but the paint sticks worked quite well on it. So I was actually pretty happy with that. So yeah, so this is just a fun, bright, cheerful page while I was having some fun. And yeah, not trying to be realistic at all, just enjoying putting down some shiny colors on my page. So yeah, that was the one page I did from Sea of Colors, and like I said, I have 10 pages left. So we're getting there. We're getting there. After waiting a long time for this to come from Denmark, I finally got my God Jewel Hannah Carlson Christmas book, and it was shipped beginning of November. I got it just before Christmas, and that was because of our lovely Canada Post having a strike. So I was able to get one page done, and this is the page I did. And I'll tell you that I used I'm calling it the Christmas Candies. I used gelato in the backgrounds, some polychromos, some glaze pens, some acrylic paint, markers, or just acrylic paint, it says. Oh, okay, so the little white along here is acrylic paint, and also use some Pitt pens and 3D magic Mod Podge. So the three-dimensional Mod Podge with the iridescent glitter in it, I did on top of all of these bumps, or these kind of like these bubbles. And so I used a lot of glaze pen and some 3D magic on here. And then some dual hybrid little embellishments and stuff on the candies. It was a lot of fun. For some reason, I just loved to color candy. I don't know. It, but it was fun. It was a page that I really thought about. I envisioned these as all chocolates, so that's how I colored them. I colored them as chocolate with some glaze on top, kind of like caramel. So yeah. That's where my mind was going when I was seeing this. And that's, again, December Color Your Hoard hashtag. And that was from the newest book by Hannah Carlson. And I will probably color in this again in January, because there's a lot of pictures in here that are just winter kind of themed. So not necessarily Christmas. So I will hope to visit this book. Winter is a long season here in Canada, so I still have lots of time to do another page. Now we are moving into the 10 by 10 size books, and this is Mythographic Cosmic Spirit. This again is a first page for me in this book, and I did this page here for Sagittarius and the Centaur. And this was part of my Coloring the Zodiac Animals. So there is a complete video on me coloring this and talking a little bit about Sagittarius. And then we also do some Harry Potter trivia on this one. So I really like how the glow around the lanterns turned out. I used some Craftsmart ivory colored paint on top of it, and it was metallic, so it really shined. I used mostly markers, which is again something I don't typically do, so I really tried upping my marker game. I used markers here. I also used polychromos pencils for shading. I used Fine Tech Gold along here. I used some Color Shift blue violet paint. So all of the bubbles here are purple, and that's from the paint. And then I drew around the circles with a silver gel pen to get rid of the black lines. I used some Pitt pens, some Staedtler pigment pens, and like I said, the silver gel pens. So really, really happy with how this turned out. I've got the purple glaze that does the constellation symbol for Sagittarius. And yeah, happy to have completed this whole series. There is a final wrap-up video that I added to the playlist. So if you want to just see all of the animals in one sitting, then you can watch that. And then if there's a certain animal you want to see closer, then you can go to the actual video for that month. But I'm happy to have finally got into Cosmic Spirit. It was recommended to me for my video series on the Zodiac. So there we go, Cosmic Spirit. All right, this next book is just a little bit larger. I'm gonna raise the camera up again. I couldn't go a Christmas season without coloring at least one page from Joanna Basford's Christmas. And so I did this page. And this page is all kinds of shininess. And there's two different items that are making it shiny. The first outside layer is actually three different colors of the Neo Color 1 metallic crayons. Now I put those on with a fairly heavy hand and buffed them out with a first a blender stick, and then I also kind of buffed it with a tissue. And all that is from our good recommendations from Coloring Chemist here in Canada and on YouTube. So big shout out to Connie for that. And then the inside is silver metallic Craft Smart paint. And then the blue around here is a Jelly Roll metallic. So on the inside, I colored the blue here with the Craft Smart blue metallic pen. And I'll just show it to you. So this metallic marker here from Crafter's Square, the Dollar Tree. And then for the other colors, I used polychromos pencils, a little bit of white gouache, some silver, and then so this is all pencil in here, and that is polychromos pencils. And the deer is done with the Pitt pens, and then I shaded with polychromos pencils. So really happy with how this turned out. I love all the shininess. It's hard to take a picture and share the shininess, and then around the outside of it, after I did all that shiny goodness, I then sprinkled gold ink. So that's the Winsor Newton gold ink. I sprinkled that all over it and did some dots with the metallic marker and a white. So yeah, really happy with how this turned out. I just thought Christmas needed a little bit of shine, and I hope that you like it. And that's my one page that I got to in Joanna's Christmas. This book is going to take me years to complete because I don't get to it very often. So maybe someone will host Christmas in July and I will get back to it then. We got two more books left. And our first book is the Morning Scribbles Frogs and Friends. And this month I did this page. This is for the hashtag Frogs and Friends. And it is hosted by Meg's Coloring Corner and Amanda Colors. And so here is mine. I made mine into festive. I said Merry Christmas with some washi tape. I've got acrylic paint here. And this is the Black Flash. So it's black and it flashes gold. I just drew on the baubles myself. I've done ink rubbing in the background, a bunch of different colors for the light kind of bokeh background. And then it's Copic and Studio 71 markers for this. And then on the eyes here, I've got the Mod Podge Dimensional Magic in Iridescent. So there's got little sparkles in his eye. But yeah, the Craft Smart paint. So everything is just shiny. So just fun page. This is just a fun, easy book, mindless coloring, and I just like to try and tie the page into what is happening in that month. So next month we are doing this one. So look forward to seeing this every month when I complete the hashtag. All right, if you've made it this far, you're in for a treat, because not only did I color in this book for many, many months, but I had a bunch of you fellow colorists and subscribers also participate in coloring this along with me. And since the last video, which was posted on the 24th of December, I have had 6 more submissions of coloring pages that other people have done. So I am going to include them right now. All the pictures that have been done by you, my fellow colorists, they all turned out really well. So on screen, you're going to see them. I'm going to put them in order by people so that you see all of the submissions by the same people together. So thank you so much to everybody who submitted them. As you can see, everybody had lots of different ideas. They spent a lot of time working on these pages. Thank you so much for sharing your pages with me and letting me share them with all of you, the fellow colorists out there that follow this channel. So those were the buddy pages that came in. If you still have a page that you want me to see, by all means, still go ahead and email me at jicolorist@gmail.com, and I may still post some next month if I'm still getting them. Christmas is a busy time, and if you're just finishing up a page, I want to be able to celebrate everybody's efforts that they have done in the festive coloring book. All right, let's see what I've done. I have been keeping a separate spot in my book of everything that I have done over the last 24 pages. So I will show you the page and read out to you from here what I did, including the palette. If I did use a palette, the palette number that is associated with the page. All right, let's start with day number 1. So day number 1 is the Candy Factory. I used a gelato background and Tim Holtz distressed crayons. We used the Color Cube palette number 35. I also used some gel pens, some Calero rainbow paint. So the paint's along here. I used some stickles, some Artex paint pens, glaze pens. So what you're going to notice is every page I used multiple mediums on. And yeah, so there's a lot of gel pen up here. We've also got quite a bit of the Calero paint going on. I did use a little bit of Dragonfly glaze. I can see it in the windows. So you'll see this flash of the windows. I kind of envisioned this whole town as a bright, cheerful place. So a lot of the outside of the buildings were bright and cheerful. So this is the Candy Factory. Day 2 was the gift guide, and I used pearlescent pan pastels for the background. I used Viviva watercolors, some Calero watercolors, Pip pens, Artex acrylic markers, some Jelly Roll metallic, some washi tape, Polychromos pencils, Finetech watercolors, and some pearl acrylic paint. So, okay, here's the washi tape. I'm like, where's the washi tape? All right, so the washi tape is all along here, and the pearl paint is on top of the windows. And yes, the pan pastel is the whole background. So the pink here and the green is pan pastels. I used ink to do the sky on many of the windows. So back here you'll notice a sky, and I completed the sky on the other side as well. That is the gift gallery. Day 3 is Flora Forever, and I used Polychromos pencils, washi tape. So I did washi tape quite a bit here and here. So quite a bit of washi tape, but it was floral, and I kind of thought that that worked. I used triple thick glaze on top of the window here. I used glaze pens, various gel pens, some Staedtler pigment pens, some bronze Signo and that's it. So yeah. And again, sky up here. Sometimes the roof lines were a little odd and a little difficult to figure out what was what. And yeah, so I used the glaze pens on all of the vases here and made them look clear and see-through, as well as up here and here. All right. Day 4 is the Mery Bakery, and I use gelatos for the background, some glaze pens, some Stabilo Pen 66. Those are fine liners. So I use them along here. Note to self, fine liners do run if you apply anything on top of them. I use Color Palette 378. I use Jelly Roll Metallic and Signal Metallic markers, a Marabou Aqua Pen. So the Aqua Pen is this light green here. So there was a lot of illustrations on these pages. And for the windows here, I used the glaze pen to make them look like sunshine windows. And the purple is a metallic paint. So I think, anyways, looks like it. I'll have to go back and watch that video. Okay. Day 5 is Teddy's Toy Store, and I used the Cretacolor Mega pencils, some Pitt pens, some Staedtler pigment pens, Jelly Roll, Spectrum Noir glitter brush pen, some Fine Tech bronze, some Winsor Newton iridescent medium, and I did that on top of some of the pink areas, so it'll shine. And on the So yeah, really like how this turned out. I used some Jelly Roll Metallic gel pens, and yeah, very happy. I used 2 different palette number cards, 173 and 176. So I combined the 2 cards, and this is Teddy's Toy Store. All right, the next page is day 6, which is somebody's home. And I used Arctic paint pens, gelatos, distress crayons, metallic gel pens, stickles, some washi tape on here, some Pitt pens, Dollar Tree glitter pens, and ChromaFlow. And I used some ChromaFlow pencils. I also used palette 113. So the glaze is in the windows and the crossbars on the windows. And this is the first time that I made all of my garlands really bushy. So that worked really well. I was happy with that. This was fun doing the candy cane stripes, and then I drew back in the lines to show the light strings on the candy canes. So yeah, this was a fun page, and that was day 6. Day 7 was the Green Grocer. I used palette number 493. I used Pitt pens, glaze pens, polychromos. I used Conte pastels, Tim Holt distress crayons, some Uniball metallic, some washi tape. So the washi tape is here, Zig Clean color, and then I used some Dragonfly glaze over top of this big window here, so you can see the reflection. The Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen is all the dark green, and there is a shine to it as well. In the windows, I used a lot of the glaze pens to make them transparent, and they also shine. And the pastels worked really well. I used them and then smudged them with my finger. So you'll notice the building kind of looks a little bit dirty. And that's what you get when you have a brick building. So yeah, happy with how this turned out. And I've got little glitter along the outside of the lights. So I put them down, and then I put some glitter around each light bulb. There you go. All right, The next day is day 8, and it is called The Little Rabbit, and this is a child's clothing store. I used 3 color palettes for this one. I used 379, 388, and 434. I used gelatos and Tim Holtz Distress crayons, some glaze pens, some Sparkle Pop gel pens, some Pitt pens, some Staedtler pigment pens, and I did Mod Podge Extreme glitter on top of here so you can really see its shininess there. And I used Calero and Fine Tech watercolors and some dollar store gold gel pens and some Viviva watercolor in metallic. So lots of different metallic paint pens or paint, and that's mainly up here. We've got blue and pink and purple and like a teal color, and I've used Mod Podge Extreme glitter on all of these decorations as well, so they're all shiny. And I used the extreme glitter also along the snow, so this is the inside. I made some snow, and I made some little snowflakes with some silver metallic gel pen. It was a lot of fun. I really like how this one turned out. Very busy with a lot of designs on some of the tops of these buildings, like this one here, the bakery, this one here, and a couple others coming up. So very interesting little town that we've got going on here. And on this side of the page, when it was something that I wasn't sure I was going to have the same materials again next year, I went ahead and did that as well. So I wanted that to match up here, so I have done that odd item on the other page as well. Day 9 was Bluebell's Hair Salon, and I used palette number 15, and I used the ink pad in Blue Lagoon to do the background. So that was the first time I did a whole background in this book and the ink pad. I used some gelato in lavender, so this is gelato here. And then I used glaze pens, some Pitt pens, Staedtler pigment pens, ChromaFlow pencils, silver gel pens, some Jelly Roll metallic, some Stardust clear. So a bunch of these items have some Stardust clear on some of them, so that they're shiny. And because there's a lot of products, I used the glaze on the windows for down here and up here. So I was really happy with how this page turned out. It was, again, a busy page, lots of little details, and yeah, so happy to be done. This one I had to come back to for quite a few times to continue on and finish it. I would leave it for a while and come back. So yeah. All right. The next is day 10, which is the Book Cafe. And for this shiny bit here and here, I used the Neo Color 1 in metallic. And you put it on, and then you put it on again, and you buff it to get the shine to come out. So if you've never used those metallic crayons before, they do take a bit of work, but totally worth it. I used pan pastels for the background, some Pitt pens. The brown pencil is the Lyra Mega Color pencils and the Cretacolor Mega Color pencils. And I used some polychromos here and there, some Spectrum Noir. So all along here, all of the big fluffy, I went over top of what was there before, and I made them into these fluffy garlands. And so I've used a bunch of different Pitt pens and gel pens and Spectrum Noir sparkle pens to do all of the foliage. And then I used some stickles for the berries. Yeah, very happy with this page. Did some window effects, and this time I was using the white acrylic paint for the window effects. So, and also some dragonfly glaze. So if I found the dragonfly glaze I really liked, sometimes I went back and added it to some of the windows. But yeah, isn't that beautiful, this sparkle or the shine off of the Neocolor one? Who would have thought that that's a crayon? All right, the next day is day 11, and it is a Poodle Parlor. And I did not use, surprisingly, I did not use any any color palette for this one. I just kind of went to town and made it bright and cheerful. I used glaze pens up here for all the windows and kind of made them fun. I colored everything with the Arctic's acrylic markers, gelatos, gel pens. I colored them with mostly Staedtler pigment pens and some Pitt pens. I used some Winsor Newton gold, so that is this. And I did the gold on all of the dog bones. So this big one. I used some stickles along here and some black glaze. So yeah, everything got used on basically every single page, but it was lots of fun coloring in this book. It did take quite a bit of work though, and again on this side I completed the roof line to ensure that it matched this one. All right, here we are for day 12, which is called the Garden Center, and hopefully you will be able to see the shine on all of that. And that is the blue dragonfly glaze. I made this into an autumnal page. I did not have a color palette, but I did use Staedtler water-soluble graphite pencils, Brutfuner macaron pencils, some Silver Signo, a bit of Polychromos pencils, and the dragonfly glaze is the violet blue green shift. And then I did some sky with the ink. But yeah, the glaze for the garden center. Really like how this page turned out, and it doesn't, it's not very Christmassy, but that's okay. This garden center is getting ready for the next season. All right, this next page is the tea shop. This is probably the page that I was the least favorite of mine, day 13, so maybe that number has something to do with it, but I used acrylic markers for the base, and I don't think I would do that again. It ended up being quite streaky, wasn't my favorite. I then used Brutfuner pencils, some Polychromos. So when I say Brutfuner, I mean the macaron set. I used some Polychromos pencils, gel pens, a Tombow blue marker. So that's all this dark blue. It was a water-based blue marker. Again, I wouldn't do that again. And then I tried to do some stenciled snowflakes. So I did it in silver because this was not Christmassy at all. There was no, other than this one wreath here, there is nothing festive on this page. So I tried to festivize it a little bit by adding a bunch of stickers and some stenciled snowflakes to kind of make it a little bit festive, but it just didn't work. I don't mind the color palette, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite after all. And I did use the dragonfly glaze over top of all of the windows, so that's something. It helped. But yeah, probably my least favorite page in the book. I think we all have one of those. We have a favorite page and a least favorite, so. And after that page, I was so excited to get to this page, Santa's Workshop. I really do love how this one turned out. I used Tim Holtz Distress Crayons for up top here. I used Polychromos pencils, some Jelly Roll glaze, some metallic markers, Uniball gold, washi tape for along here. Then I used the Mod Podge 3D Magic along the baubles here. And I kind of envisioned this to be like those houses that have the wine bottles in them, the earthen houses that the bottles stick out. And so it's actually 3D, and it worked really well. This is colored pencil, and I was really happy with how that those turned out. This is ink. Actually, this is the Tim Holtz Distressed Crayon as well. So yeah, really happy with how, and this is also the Dimensional Magic by Mod Podge. I do have on my channel a comparison of all of my dimensional products now, so if you are interested in that, go check out. It's just a short comparison video, but it does show you how they all work. So yeah, this is one of my favorite pages. Love the color and love how this turned out. I even love the 14 is all nice and sparkly, and that was with stickles. The next page is day 15, and this is a Cozy Collective Interiors. This I used palette number 93. I used Pitt pens, polychromos pencils, glaze pens, Signal Gold, some washi tape for like Ho 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 and Merry Christmas, and then also this is all washi tape along here, this candy cape stripe. I used Graphitint pencils this time, and some Brute Ferner cream, some Spectrum Noir linen, so that is also in here, and 3D Magic Clear. So okay, so along the clock here and these areas right here that are both used the, and then we've got a clock here, and another kind of like mirror. I used the 3D clear, and then we also have obviously glaze along here. So I did all the windows above like this, that were like stained glass windows in the Jelly Roll glaze pens, and really liked how that turned out. So yeah, I think this page is quite cohesive and it works well, and happy with how it turned out. And then we come to day 16 and the Snowy Stable, and I had been dreaming about doing snow on a page for weeks before this, and so when I saw the Snowy Stable, I thought now is the time to try snow. So I used for this page Lyra Skin Tone Mega Pencils, some Cretacolor Blue Metallic, so that was up at the top. I used gray and brown glaze pens, some Pitt pens, some Craft Smart Pearl paint, and some acrylic paint, some Holbein acrylic gouache, and a Dollar Tree red gel pen. So the red gel pen is here, and that Dollar Tree red glitter gel pen is actually my favorite red pen. So expensive does not always determine whether something is good or not. So yeah, first time doing snow. I like how it turned out. I was a little bit nervous. It's a little bit reflective, and that's from the Craft Smart silver white acrylic paint. So yeah, if you like snow and you like how this turned out, then go check out that video, because I was quite nervous doing it, because you don't want to wreck a page once you've got everything going. But and the Lyra Skin Tone Mega Colored pencils are a really good set of pencils. There's 12 in a set, and lots of different color browns from very light to quite dark, so well worth that. Our next page is the Vine. This page took me forever to do. I use Spectrum Noir Sage in green for everything. I use some Copper Fine Tech paint. I use the black Signal pen, some Pitt pens, a bunch of bronze Signal and 3D Magic iridescent glitter. So I used that here. I also used some Gioconda soft pastel pencils and some Winsor Newton gold ink and some pearl acrylic paint on top of it all. So the Pitt or the pastels, the Gioconda pastels, were up here along the lights that I did. So I used the pastels to make kind of a haze over the lights, and then I covered them with the magic, the Mod Podge 3D Magic. This is covered, I included enclosed this. It was an open balcony. I made it inside, and yeah. So this page took a little bit. I had to come back to it many times. I had to do something, leave it, come back. All of these is the gold ink. So yeah. And it definitely looks like the people are behind glass now. So I do think that that was effective. But yeah, took quite a bit. The next page is day 18, and this is Noelles Boutique. Noelles Boutique, I used palette number 250 and 286. And I use Pearl Ice acrylic paint for the blue background, and it's quite shiny and reflective. I used some glaze pens. I used gel pens, polychromos, the Lyra skin tone pencils again, some Pitt pens, and some Spectrum Noir sparkle pens. And then to go over top of the windows, once I was done, I used the white metallic acrylic paint. So the Craftsmart metallic paint is quite sheer, and so that is why you can still go over something and still see what's underneath. So yeah. And that is Noelles Boutique. I like the color palette. I think it definitely looks like a lady's boutique. Yeah. The next day is day 19, and it is the Wreath Shop. And holy moly, again, this was a learning curve. I used glaze pens, Dollar Tree glitter markers, gel pens, silver Signo bronze, polychromos pencils, Pitt pens, dragonfly glaze over top of everything after it was done. I used twin tone fine liners and Laurentian fine liners. Now, that in itself is fine to use. However, they were water-based, and once I added the dragonfly glaze, it started to smear the water-based fine liners. So then I almost cried because I was already far into this process by that point. The green here, that's all nice and shiny, is a acrylic Craftsmart green metallic paint. And the ribs on all of the building is done in the green glaze pen. So I have done both sides. So it's quite effective once you see it, and this is obviously washi tape. So I love how it turned out, but when it started to smear, I was going to cry. So note to self, if you're going to put on a top coat of anything, don't use water-based items underneath. And that makes total sense now, and I just had not thought that through. I did a sky up here, and I think that adds quite a bit. So yeah, and I did the sky on this side too. So this was also one of my favorites. I think it turned out quite well. And for the little sparkling lights, I had them like fairy lights. I did the Extreme Mod Podge glitter, and I put it on the end of like a paintbrush and dabbed it on. So they actually sparkle quite well in, I'm sure it doesn't show on camera, but it worked. And here we go with the perfume room. This is day 20. And this was me kind of having fun doing a little bit of an altered page. I used gelatos for the background, Meeden acrylic paint, and that is in the blue. I used a bottle sticker, some stickers here as well, some Uniball gel pen, Jelly Roll metallic, Pitt pens, Staedtler metallic, pigment pens, polychromos, Stardust clear, Winsor Newton gold ink, and glaze pens. So basically everything is on this page, including a large sticker that is super shiny. And so yeah, this was not here. What I did is end up covering up 9 windows worth of bottles that I really didn't want to have to deal with. And I had these bottle stickers forever, and I thought, wouldn't that be cool to have a perfume bottle with a big bottle on the outside of the building? I don't know, maybe that's just me and spending too much time in Vegas where you see big, large things. But yeah, I love how this turned out after all. Again, we had some problems over here with my hand smearing things, and then I had to fix it, and it's a deal. I am not great with gel pens because I end up using them and then smearing. So yeah, super happy with how that this finally turned out because it was a bit of a labor of love. All right, so here we are with day 21. This is the perfect place. It is a cat hotel. I used palette number 168 and 183. So as you notice, sometimes I use more than one palette. Usually they had similar colors on both of them, but I obviously needed a little bit extra. I used Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen, some Zig Clean Color pens, Pitt pens, Staedtler Pigment pens, Polychromos pencils, Paul Rubens watercolors, Dollar Tree glitter in red, and so that's this guy here, some Signo gel pen, some Craft Smart World white pearl paint, Mod Podge, and the 3D magic stuff. Where did I did that on top of all of these berries. So all of these berries are 3D, and they have, yeah, Mod Podge on those. The Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen here is actually in silver, and I talk about that on screen, that silver is never been silver. It's always been brown for me. So, but it is quite sparkly. I love how this turned out. I love the little 21 here, and I did that in watercolor paint. And again, the windows here in gray, I used the glaze, and they're quite shiny. And sometimes I did 2 coats, so this would have been one of those times where I did 2 coats. And then you say, wow, Jody, that's a white gel pen. No, it's not. It is actually Holbein acrylic white in titanium white. So gouache, that is about the only thing that I was able to get. So I'm pretty sure that that's what that is. All right, that is a perfect place. The next day is day 22, and we've got the Winter Art Center, and it is presenting the Nutcracker, but there was no Nutcracker on this page, so I decided to add one. So here is a Nutcracker, and you might think you've seen him before, and you would have if you have Joanna's Christmas book, because that's where that came from. So for the Art Center, I used palette 212, and I photocopied the Nutcracker, shrunk him down, and then colored and pasted him in there. I used Artex acrylic paint pens for this color, some Pitt pens, some Dragonfly glaze on these windows here, so they'll be shiny. I used Polychromos pencils, glaze red for the red writing. I used dual hybrid, some stickles, the Holbein acrylic gouache, some gold ink along the sky here, so that's the Winsor Newton gold ink. And I used some stickles along here for these lights here. I really do think this turned out well. So there was, along with the paint pens, there was quite a bit of coloring left. Even though it's all light and it doesn't look like there's a lot of pencil work, there actually was quite a bit of pencil work on here. And I wasn't thrilled with how I did the curtains, but I actually think they turned out okay. So, and I've got some Dragonfly glaze over top of this window and this area here. So happy with this page. I did the this side as well so that I could make sure I had the same going on. And then day 23 is the Town Hall. Town Hall, I used coloring palette 234. I used Tim Holtz Distress Crayons, and then I used ink on top of that, and that actually worked really well. So that's how I did the bricks. So I used Tim Holtz Distress Crayon and then Tim Holtz ink with a little makeup applicator brush. I used Pitt pens, glaze pens, Fine Tech copper paint. So that's the Fine Tech. I used some Artex paint pens here and there, some washi tape, and then I also used some stickles. And again, I did the flicking technique, and I made the garlands bushy. And I really do think that that adds quite a bit to the effect. And then for the windows, I just used colored pencils. I didn't put any dragonfly glaze or anything on the windows this time. I just left it as is, but I'm happy with how this page turned out. And our last page is the Festive Windows page. And this is the only page that I somewhat followed the color palette from the front, because it was the front of this. But here it is. So I didn't use a color palette other than looking at the front of the book. I used Pitt pens, distressed crayons. The red here is distressed crayons. I used Brute Fern and Macaroon pencils, polychromos pencils, gel pens, clear watercolor. So there's some watercolor here. I used a micron pen, some distressed ink, and some glaze pens. So the glaze pens are in some of all the yellow, and then the Festive Windows wording. And then the watercolor paints is on all the shiny bits that you see. I did a short video on how to do a cozy window, so that was done. I do like how I did the curtains and used a different color for the window. So here they were all quite light. All of this was light and stuff, and I changed it to a more of a burgundy, and that's because I had gone over this with distressed crayons, and it's pretty hard to go light on top of a red, so I went dark, and I'm really happy with that choice. I love how this page turned out. I also moved the 24 that was down here up to here, 'cause it didn't make any sense that this was hanging here with nothing in it, so I made that the number 24 and moved it from there. I like how my columns turned out. I think that they do look round and nice and festive. And that's the last page of the book. Wow, that was a lot. Thank you so much for watching and encouraging me along the way with your kind comments and your feedback. Really appreciated that. And that is the end of today's colored pages. That was a lot. If you have stuck with me for this whole video and also for that whole series, I just want to say a huge thank you. I hope you enjoyed the series. I'm not sure if we will do something that epic again next year. Last year we did a whole book as well. The year before that we did a book. So next year we might do a small advent calendar. Not sure. So we'll see how I feel next year at this time. But I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. However you celebrate and whomever you're with, I hope you are having a creative and colorful day. And I will see you in 2025 for more coloring and more creative time. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a super day. Bye-bye.